We just didn't do it today. No, it's one of those, is it? Every time I wait, and this is the one time you don't say anything. This
Well, I
is
mean,
it.
it's sort of. I like to keep you. I'm going to say I like to keep you on your toes, but I like to. I like to keep you guessing.
You'd be doing a very good job if you were keeping me on my toes. I think, respect to
Yeah,
you if
I
that was the case.
like to keep you, like to keep you guessing. And
Obviously,
never. What's the what's the most important thing about comedy? Never be predictable. What's the important thing about comedy? Never be predictable. What's the most important thing about comedy? Donkey. Um,
uh, Merry Crimbo Limbo, guys. We're currently in Crimbo Limbo. Um, that weird
you
gap
might be, you
between,
might be on the fucking work.
um, you know, in that weird week where it's like not New Year's yet, it's still kind of Christmas. At what point does it switch over?
A weird
Um,
void. Mm.
I
I
mean,
mean, I mean, it's a 27th. See, obviously, I'm in a very unique position, Alex, where because of my life circumstances and January the 1st being a very key date and a significant date, but not a particularly happy one for me. I don't tend to do New Year because so for me there is a clear delineation in that it's Christmas up until the 31st, and then it's just a couple of days of fucking limbo, and then it's the New Year on the 2nd of January.
yeah, New Year's.
I don't buy into this Grimbo limbo bollocks.
I just like the term.
I always know what day of the week it is.
So I don't. I it's
I try and
Wednesday.
keep track. Yeah.
I have no idea. It's just like I like
It's
saying
so,
Crimbo.
the thing is, like the thing is that even the football fixtures, you can't even go by the football fixtures these days. As to what you like with Christmas, you used to be able to go. All right, there's going to be games on Boxing Day, and then there's going to be games on New Year's Day, and there might be games in between, and you could keep track of it that way. But you can't even do that now.
Nope.
Thank you,
Uh,
Amazon Prime.
yeah, exactly. But thank you for the good coverage, Amazon.
Other
it's been
streaming services are available, but they are better also because they don't have that fucking 2 minute delay where you get a notification of a goal on your phone before you see it on the screen.
However, if you want to sponsor us, Amazon, we will rescind those comments, and we love your stream. We love your streaming quality, and
Oh
thank
yeah, I love your streaming quality, Amazon. I love your provision of of audio description on your streaming stuff. If you
Hmm.
could possibly pass on to your delivery partners that behind a wheelie bin in Canning Town is not a safe space, then that would be
That's
helpful.
terrible.
But like anywhere in Canning Town, it's not a safe space to leave something.
the classic safe space on the Amazon delivery, the classic, and it's just in a tree, uh, that kind of thing. Also,
I've had handed to resident before, and it's been put behind a wheelie bin, and I'm like, I I I've not checked the dictionary definition recently, but I'm pretty sure that my wheelie bin is not classed as a resident. If
either
so,
that,
if so, maybe I should be charging it rent.
also,
Yeah.
if not, somebody dodgy was hiding in your bin.
Again, mate, it's Canning Town.
Yeah. Also, Amazon, if you could part ways with Steve McManaman, please and thank you. The coverage will be 10 times better. Just
Oh,
saying.
a bit harsh. I mean, he's not Glenn Hoddle, is he?
Yeah, but he's pretty shit. And of course, we're joined here with Reese as well.
Well,
Gallifrey
yeah,
Forever 97.
that's consistent. He was a pretty shit footballer.
Yeah. Trailer maker. He did it. He gave us a little Boxing Day trip. Was it Boxing Day that you released your trailer for
uh,
Chapter Road? You were that, it must have been because you couldn't have done it before because it wasn't out. It must have been Boxing Day. You did the Ruby Road trailer because
I did a next season trailer of Boxing Day.
oh, was it that? I watched
Yeah,
it as
you
well.
wouldn't do a trailer for something after it's been broadcast, Alex. That's just
Yeah.
No, no, G Feather, he normally does do his own version of that, though. You do that you
I
do.
did that like a week or so before. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was
yeah.
prior to the broadcast.
Well, I'm just
Unless I'm
getting
a
my
time
days
traveler.
mixed up. He might be. I
Yeah,
got my days mixed up.
like
Maybe he's went. Maybe he
I
went
mean,
to the BBC archives. You got the episodes. You got all of
I
the
would
eight.
go so far as to say that a Reese Marshall trailer is one of the highlights of any new Doctor Who content.
Unless you're
Yeah,
conscious.
And anybody looking to anybody looking to put trailers together would do a lot worse than going and finding this man.
Please don't go and find this man. Let him let him go. He
Well,
doesn't want he doesn't
Russell T
want to
Davis
be
can.
he doesn't want to be found.
Well, I mean, I know I can only think of one person that he doesn't want to be found by.
yeah, exactly.
Five minutes
But
in.
of course, we're reviewing the Church of Ruby Road this week. The Doctor Who 2023
Focus
Christmas
clear.
episode. It's the Christmas special. We're back. It's Christmas. Yeah, we're gonna go spoilers divulge straight away. So if you don't like spoilers and you've not watched it yet, go and watch it. It's on iPlayer or Disney Plus or in Ireland. I think you're fucked. I don't think it's on demand in Ireland. So sorry. Hopefully they sort that out for you soon.
I mean, VPN services are available.
Yeah. However, we're not going to tell you what that's for you to
No,
do.
we're not going to point you towards these things because we're good boys, and
You'll find a way
if
to watch it.
if we keep being good boys, who knows? The BBC might send us free shit, and if the BBC give us free shit, then we might actually have to start being non-critical in our video and sort of shilling for the BBC. Which
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, would I sell my soul and my integrity?
Yeah.
It's a
Depends
hard
what's on offer.
question. It's a hard question, but for free Doctor Who shit, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe throwing a set to it.
Yeah, maybe just throwing a little cameo. Throwing a little cameo.
They could paint some. They could paint some. They could paint some lines around sort of some of the steps or the slopes in the TARDIS, and then they could call them the cookie slopes or the cookie lines.
Yeah, what would you want named after you in the TARDIS, Reese?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Some sort
Actually,
of
no,
lever
fuck it. I
or...
want them to name the jukebox after me.
Ah. Yeah, that wasn't. Yeah, look forward to when that's actually used.
Yeah, what would you like? What would be on your jukebox, Reese? There you go. That was a question that they got asked in this kit. What would be one of your songs that's in the jukebox?
I'd rack out the song of the year for me, which is Chasing Status, Badadam.
See, your
TARDIS
would be a rave similar to which the Doctor isn't in this episode.
It's got the lights. I mean,
raving throughout the universe. What about you, John?
Mark Morrison, Return of the Mac.
Nice. That's a good one. That is a good one. I was going to give it that to I hadn't thought of one.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know, man. What would I want to listen to in the TARDIS? Probably something by Michael Bublé, but I don't know.
That's like the most Kingdom answer.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But yeah, probably that. Either that or
it's like it's Christmas Day 2025. The Doctor lands in Exeter, takes Kingdom for a ride, and he's just sat there in the dark, like, Santa buddy, because I can sing baby, because I'm repressed and don't want to sing about a man.
But also either that or Van Morrison, Brown Eyed Girl, because that one's quite a good one to sing.
That I mean, anything Van Morrison prior to 1990 is good. Now that he's a ranty old man who doesn't like people wearing masks, not so good. But
that's not one of my favorite traits within people. No, I would agree with that.
But if we're talking Van Morrison tracks, then I'd have Tupelo Honey playing in there.
Oh, good. That's a good tune. And Reese is like, who is Van Morrison?
I've heard of Van Morrison. I can't remember.
Reese may own a panic room and a bunker, but it doesn't mean he's been in there for 20 years. He knows who Van Morrison is.
Yeah, there we go. Is John Pertwee the thing for December on the calendar?
No, for I got a head start, so I got the Doctor calendar, as you can see behind me, hopefully. So John Pertwee is for January.
So have they just like fucked off Troughton and Hartnell then?
They'll be on the year to date. Hartnell was on the year to date for this year, mate. We've had more Doctors than months for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I reckon they should mix it up though. I reckon like I wish I should mix it up. It's like one year, it's all just jumbled and shit for vibes, and just
That has
They,
reminded
they've
that has
the others
reminded me.
they
I do need to purchase next year's Doctor Who calendar from Amazon.
Maybe
Amazon
that's
Prime
if we get.
streaming Premier League games.
We
Now.
like them, and Amazon, I will be in for the next couple of days. So there's absolutely no fucking need to leave it behind a bin.
I've got my Doctor Who calendar for the year, which is the table calendar.
This is what comedy's about. You reference something, and then 5 minutes later, you come back to it. It's just,
This is it.
Yeah, the table calendar.
you
There you
guys
go.
get this fucking content for free. Okay, you
Look,
said the table
subscription.
calendar there, didn't you? For a second, I thought you said disabled calendar, and I'm like, that is the best
Yeah.
thing ever that they're now doing.
The
Acceptable death calendars.
the Doctor Who disabled calendar.
Yeah,
2020.
yeah. And then the great thing is like it's a disabled calendar because you can put it on your desk and you're only going to reach up to the wall.
It's just 30 pictures of Ryan. It's just 30. It's just 30 pictures of Ryan Sinclair and Badakafalata.
Well,
Oh,
I mean, I'm sorry, but
it's looking really vacant.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I would take a 366 day because it's a leap year next year. I would take a desk calendar with 366 pictures of Shirley Ann Bingham.
Yeah, the Shirley desk calendar.
Yeah, and what they could do is they could do it so it's also like a flip book. So you could like have like Shirley talking to you as you flip through it from page to page.
I'm surprised they've never actually done a companion calendar. Actually, that's never been tapped into.
I think
But,
how far into the podcast are we? Are we more than 5 minutes in?
yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say. I'm pretty sure, I think with the problem with that is that like 90% of male Doctor Who fans, including
Yeah, I know this is going.
I think they'd need to maybe it's a bit more expensive to make one with a non-stick material.
Oh no. No, it's not wrong though, is it?
Merry Christmas.
Let's get away from
I mean, it is wrong, but I am not incorrect.
let's get away. Let's get away from the smut and let's discuss some Doctor Who.
I wonder who's in March in my calendar.
Let's find out. Anyway, the Treasury Road, of course, was released on the 25th of December this week. It was out. Mark Tonderay returned to Doctor Who to direct, which was a blast in the past. And obviously, I think he did Rosa, maybe another one, but I know he definitely was behind Rosa. And it was behind the
And the
cover.
Ghost Monument, maybe.
So
Yeah.
two very beautiful looking episodes of Doctor Who, which explains why this was so.
I mean, the Ghost. As we all know, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the Chibnall era, but the Ghost Monument is one of the things that I do absolutely love, and those are episodes that look absolutely fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, it's got Sean Dooley in it as well. You can't go wrong with the Ghost Monument.
And Susan Lynch.
Exactly, it's really fun. And obviously stars our new Doctor and companion duo of Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson. They're here. It's the first episode. What did we all think? Reese, you've not been on the show talking Doctor Who for a while. You've been on the Christmas Day, but you've not done a Doctor Who. What did you think of Church on New Road?
Well, we've done some drunk reactions that we afterwards, but
yeah, we've done some, yeah, but we've not done. You've not done a formal.
Alex is talking about appearances that you can both remember.
No,
Yeah.
I remember those very well. But the issue with those is that we've had a drink by that point, and it's sort of very incoherent and just sort of like.
I think it's the first time I've been on sober for like a long time.
The last thing I think we talked about the Flash, the TV series, which would have been like May.
Oh, right. Oh gosh.
And then before that, I think it was Power of the Doctor.
I have to say, Reese. Obviously, all of our fans watch these in order, so they will have watched the Christmas Day podcast. I'm pleased to see that like 12 days on, you've calmed down from the result of the quiz and no longer want to beat the shit out of everybody.
It was the fact you weren't. It was the fact you weren't getting on at me. We're getting on at everyone for existing, and you're like, no.
I was like, I know I'm losing.
It was brilliant.
I know I was losing. So yeah, Treasury Road. Yeah, I simply really enjoyed it. I mean, lovely to have the Christmas specials back. I thought obviously Shooty and Minnie did an amazing job. I can see why they picked them in that chemistry test. Um, the goblin stuff, I mean, was probably like the weakest stuff of the episode, but I think, I also keep it brief, but like the family stuff was amazing with Claire and Cherry Sunday. And, yeah, just uh, yeah, it was just very heartfelt. Murray's Gold's music was firing all cylinders. It was I think it introduced some love in. I think the next series probably obviously explore more stuff, but I thought it was a great starting off point for this pairing. And it was just like a lovely. I watched it with my family Christmas Day, and they were laughing and cheering. So yeah, it was I just thought it was a nice kind of traditional Christmas story. Not the best, certainly not the worst. Sort of up
Yeah.
middle.
In that middle
Yeah.
zones, upper
Hmm.
middle, yeah. Yeah,
In
I'm
the
going to go
middle,
next because I entirely agree with you 100%, which is very rare for me. But I think it's fun. I think it's fun. It's nowhere near the best of the Doctor Who. It's certainly nowhere near the worst, but it's not trying to be. It's kind of similar to the Star Beast in the sense where it's just trying to please as many people as it can. It's Christmas Day. People got family around, or they're a bit drunk and they've eaten a lot of food, so they're probably that Russell was probably thinking, right, bare basics. So some goblins. They want to eat kids. The Doctor's like, yeah, nah, that ain't happening. That's kind of your plot. And then you get some kind of nice sciencey stuff in there as well. Like you say, I think Millie and Shooty are fantastic. A shout out to Cherry Sunday, the best character in the entire episode. Did she get the cup of tea in the end? I can't remember whether she did or not.
he did.
Good. I watched it literally an hour ago, but I couldn't remember that bit.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that, like you say, there's actually some really good heartfelt stuff in there.
Hmm.
Davina McCoy in one timeline gets murdered, so that's pretty funny. So Merry Christmas. The fact that a lot of it was shot on the fact that a lot of it was shot in the streets of Cardiff in the first section and was in a nightclub that I used to frequent, and also a different venue within Cardiff. But they're all in there. So
We
that was
know.
really fun. That was really fun. And yeah, I thought it was good. I think it leads off in a nice place. I think, like you said, I think the goblins were definitely the weakest part of the episode. They weren't bad by any means, but obviously because the Goblin King was a great looking prosthetic, but it didn't really hold much threat because all it would do was like move its mouth and stuff. So not really the most villains with most depth, but that's certainly not what their job was to be. They were just there to kind of get the plot moving and introduce our characters. So they set their purpose well, but certainly not ones to remember. What about you, John?
I think I'm probably a little bit more forgiving than you two, on elements actually. 'Cause I come at this. What we've got to bear in mind, this is a Christmas episode, and this is also a post-regeneration episode. And the one thing that those two things tend to have in common is that by necessity they're a bit plot light. They don't want to weigh you down with too much plot on Christmas Day. And a post-regeneration episode is all about introducing your characters. And in this case, obviously, we've not just got a new Doctor, we've also got a new companion, and we've got a new family of extended characters, if you like. So yeah, the goblins for me, they serve the purpose. Kind of cute. I love the practical effects on the Goblin King. I think it's. I mean, we obviously you're starting to see the Disney money come in now, and I think Russell says on the commentary, because of the money, we wouldn't have been able to do the goblins prior because just doing small aliens, doing small monsters like that would have just been too expensive. So I like that they're kind of finding their feet with the new money and that they've used it wisely here. I think where this benefited Rock over some other post regeneration episodes is that we got a good 20 minutes of Shooty and the giggle. So we've got an already fully formed Doctor, if you like, and you're losing that first 20 minutes where either the Doctor's a bit madcap or they just go to fucking sleep for 45 minutes and it's all a bit crap. Sorry, Christmas Invasion. Or so I think the fact we're getting a fully formed Shooty at the start of this really helps it out. And Shooty and Millie are both absolutely on fire. Our extended cast is great. I do love Sherry Sunday, but for me, I think the star performer in this was Michelle Greenidge as Carla. I think she absolutely, like in both of the timelines, the one with Ruby and without her, I think she absolutely smashed it out of the park. Um, she was one of the best things in It's a Sin. She's one of the best
Mm.
things in this, and I can't wait to see where they go with her over the next couple of series because, again, it's mentioned in the commentary that we certainly will be seeing Carla and Sherry in series 15 as well as series 14.
Amazing. I mean, I didn't realize she was in It's a Sin. That's news. I mean, I've
Yeah,
seen
she
it.
played Roscoe's mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that's maybe we should do that talking point first because no point. The Sunday family, the new dynamic. So I thought that was all really well handled, really fun stuff. Obviously, like I say, in the other time I just get a bit depressing and all that. I think it's a nice dynamic. I think all three of them have really good chemistry with each other from the off. There's no kind of like they're not acting like their family. No, you entirely buy into their relationship and this sort of stuff. That's really good. And the scenes, especially, I find where Ruby is talking to her mum and say, and they're talking about what happens if Ruby does find her real mum, what ramifications that will have. I think that's some really strong stuff. Um, I think as well, setting Ruby's mouth as a character who is so endearing because she's like fostered. What was it? 33 was
Yeah.
it was
Mm.
his kids. I think that's incredible.
If you didn't have a tear in your eye at the scene with the fridge, then you have no soul.
I did not have a tear in my eye, so I'm soulless.
Yeah, but we all knew that.
Reese, did you have a tear in your eye? Were you tearing up at Fridge Gate?
I mean, I didn't shed a tear, but it was very emotional. I think the actress plays Carla. She did the in audition the sort of like when she's talking about how like she's making love with these kids, and then she's like, "Why are you crying?" And apparently she did that in the audition. So that is like incredible. I mean, it's kind of Russell's forte as well. Like obviously writing amazing dialogue like drama, and like I said, it's a lovely combination of Russell's writing and the actors, and I can't wait to see more of it. I mean, I don't know if John knows as well, but in the commentary, apparently the Goblin King was gonna like attack the flat and like come down, but apparently that was too expensive. But I like how in between, we've got like a 10 minute pretty much dialogue scene in the flat. And obviously, yeah, I think that was probably more beneficial, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, but I say I can't wait to see more of this family. Russell's done that amazing in the past, and yeah, and the tea joke was a funny gag. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think the one place this episode excelled at is laying the groundwork for the next couple series. I think I'm really excited about all the stuff going forward. I think this story in itself is very basic by design, so therefore it's just, especially as a Doctor Who fan who's seen literally almost fucking every story, this one just won't appeal to me as much. Um, but I think as well, I like the extra scene they added with Shooty because obviously, other than that, he wouldn't have been it. Apart from those quick shots in the clubs and stuff, he wouldn't have actually been in the episode to about 20 minutes in. So I think that is a good addition from the Disney people, unlike their one in the Starbeast. I think that one was a much a nice conclude. Especially that scene with the policeman, I thought was really good as well.
Yeah, where he
Um,
goes a bit Sherlock. I absolutely
yeah,
love that. I like this kind of. I like that we've got this Doctor here where we're going to follow his thought patterns. It's quite Troughton. That was
yeah.
always one of the best
Mm.
things about Troughton, that you would see him working things out as he went along. It was wonderful.
Mm.
Yeah, I also as well. I liked the gloves. I liked how basic they looked because they were just gloves you could get from Poundland with a light strip in them, and
Yep.
that's fantastic. That's so Doctor Who. I think that's really good fun. It's a really good, some really good comedy with that as well. I mean, obviously that scene that I think was released for Graham Norton where she's first on the ladder, on the ladder, and they first kind of interact. That was really good stuff. And basically anything with Shooty and Millie is fantastic. Like he said in his little spiel. But like, you can see why these two were picked. They just bounce off each other really well.
Yeah,
There's just
their chemistry, their chemistry is absolutely great, and the obvious that also they're both very charismatic as individuals, so they can hold an individual scene as well.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to say after one episode, but I do feel that this, in terms of chemistry, it could be our best pairing since Chris and Billy. I really think it's that good.
Interesting.
Chris and Billy were just electric, and like
Interesting.
people often forget that, but yeah, Chris and Billy were just electric.
No, they're definitely in like the top three. Yeah,
Strong start. Strong start.
It's a very, very good start to Monday. But yeah, I think obviously we know that we got this pairing for quite a while as well. There's no kind of jeopardy there, which is kind of a nice thing. We know that these guys are going to be together for at least 2 series. But yeah, obviously, by design, this episode is quite basic. There's not too many talking points. So I guess now we can talk about the big goblin set piece in the middle with our Christmas banger of a tune. I guess there was interesting addition to this of there being a new science of saying coincidence and how that's a science now you can work it out and all this sort of stuff. How did that work for you? Because I think that's where the episode lost me a bit because the strands on the boat, and if I get it, I was like, what? If you get it, you probably think it's brilliant, but I was just there going,
magic and chance as a science is not something new for Doctor Who. You go back and watch The Demons from 1971, and you've basically got demonic beings being brought up by incantation, and it's all scientific. It's all about the power of people's beliefs and how that can manifest. And if you go back to even further to the toy maker, and I do think that's a key point where a lot of this might be coming from. All of this stuff about gods and magic and chants and trickery comes in through the toy maker's realm. And I know I said it when we recorded the Wobbly Yonder pod. This is going to come down to the line of salt. It's going to come down to the line of salt at the end of the universe. That's what allowed the toy maker to come through. That has fundamentally shifted something so that you can get some slightly more fantasy elements coming in. There's even a line in the song. He's not a myth. He's an actual thing.
yeah.
Yeah, we're excited to see Russell.
I've got no problem with that at all, because it's not like it's breaking new ground. It's just revisiting something that it's done on occasion before.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited for Russell to kind of like take on that. So, like most of obviously like the Midnight Entity and bits like that, but I feel like now he's got a real big push of like kind of Moffat kind of did stuff like this. But yeah, so excited for us to kind of explore that now.
I think it's always fun to do fantasy elements and stuff like that. I just think maybe because the episode is so breakneck, I was just a bit like, what? They're saying the word coincidence, and now it's like making lightning happen. I'm like, what? They've got lightning powers now. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I was just,
it's all about chance.
yeah,
And they mentioned in the commentary that originally the plan was for them to have a pile of lottery tickets in the kitchen, where Carla gives everybody a scratch card as a Christmas present. Yeah, because it could be worth thousands of pounds. So be lucky. And the way that they were going to have Ruby defeat the Goblin King was going to be to do scratch a card, scratch a card, scratch a card, scratch a card, and then eventually she finds one with a tenner and beats him with good luck.
oh,
Which
yeah.
I think,
I'm
I
really happy they didn't do that.
I think that might have actually sold the point on coincidence and chance a little bit better.
Yeah,
But I don't. That said, I don't mind the sort of final resolution of it, because I think if you've got, there were budget constraints about being able to kind of send the king down into the flat and stuff, so they went with the crack instead. And I
Yeah.
think I think there's enough in there for you to go, well, yeah, actually, I can understand how that works. Maybe it might require a rewatch, but I think on
Yeah.
rewatch, especially if you're rewatching with the commentary, it's like you get it.
I haven't checked out any of those commentaries yet,
You
actually.
need to. There's so much stuff in there, mate. It's
Yeah,
awful.
they're generally pretty good. This one particular was actually this one was really good because it was they they actually they actually filmed it from the Sunday's living room.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
so
actually sat in like a front
well, who
room.
was it? Who was it this
And
week?
it,
Russell
it was
shooting?
no, it was Russell, Millie, and the producer, wasn't it?
Chris, yeah, one of the producers, new producers.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to go check that out.
It was interesting, is because obviously this was Millie's first experience, if you like. So it was interesting, sort of hearing her talk about the differences between this and filming on Coronation Street, and
Yeah.
Mm.
how obviously when they were doing outside stuff on Coronation Street, it was all on an enclosed park set, if you like. Whereas with this, there were sort of fans knocking around, and it's a very sort of different
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, around
Actually,
Bristol and
she
yeah.
comes across really well, actually.
I can imagine it, obviously, especially with her being such a young actor as well, and not had the most experience. It can be so, especially Doctor Who fans. We all know what they're like. No offense to anyone listening. It can be
Unless
quite.
you're one of those creeps, in which case every offence
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you are.
I just didn't want to generalize. But we
Reece,
are.
Reece Jenkins, stop doing that while we're talking.
Yeah, we know. But
We can
yeah,
see you, and it stunts your growth.
obviously the whole kind of middle section of the episode takes place on the Goblin ship. We get that little bop of a tune. But a little add on that I think they kind of leaked, because I swear I read it somewhere, is that Shooty and Millie would be singing, and they do sing in this. I didn't like watching Unleashed and realizing they had to fucking do it on set rather than pre-record it. And he was just like, Shooty was like, what? Okay. And yeah, I thought, what do we make of the song now in the context of the episode and all that sort of stuff? And
I loved it in the context of the episode, because it was like, actually, yeah, we're going to celebrate eating this baby, and we're bringing out a band to do it, and so it
Yeah.
just randomly bursting into song.
Yeah.
There was actually a context for doing it, which was good.
Yeah.
I love how I love how the Shooty and Millie bits, because they're meant to be improvised, actually sound improvised. The
yeah,
lyrics are crap, and Millie's lyrics in particular are crap, and I love it.
yeah,
I love it
yeah,
all the more for just this point that at one point she literally goes ding a ding a ding or something, and it just
Yeah.
works.
yeah. And like every rhyme in her first like four lines is you. It's all just
Yeah,
you over
yeah.
there. But no, I thought overall it was great. It kind of leaves me wanting more. I hope, obviously, with this Beatles episode coming up, I don't know whether there will be more music aspect to it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
I think
Shooty certainly had a really good voice. No disrespect to Billy
from what
Gibson
we've
at all,
seen,
but
I think from what
Shooty
we've
was.
seen of I think from what we've seen of episode titles, etc., music might well be a bit of a running theme.
I'm always up for that.
Series 14,
I'm
which
always up for that.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, music's a real big thing for me. So I mean, we've literally got a fucking jukebox in the TARDIS, so they're gonna be pushing it. And again, that might be a little bit of Disney influence coming in there, going, let's make it a bit more musical. And I ain't got a problem with that.
Reese knows I don't have a problem with musicals. Um,
Oh,
I
uh,
can imagine.
we all know you don't have a problem with musicals.
yeah, I like a good musical, so I'm bang up for that. Um, what do we make of the whole goblins going back in time and basically erasing Ruby from existence? Because I like the fact that it's basically only brought up they can time travel once in a throwaway line, and then that line comes back to haunt them. I think that's really well written in, because actually it's something you don't really think about within their skill set, and then they use it. I thought that was actually really well done.
It's it's a very clever reveal. Ross said in that commentary thing, like, because obviously the Doctor's obviously very time sensitive, that it's a kind of slow progression thing. Like you see Ruby go, I clocked like the fridge with all the pictures gone of all the kids she adopted. Um, yeah, it was a very it was a very clever reveal. And like you said, it was obviously you get a funny line of the Doctor being like well, time travels are awesome. Don't compare me to them. Like they're time riders and yeah.
Yeah.
That sort of time travel snobbery, I really like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
what did I think of it? Oh, I'm going to answer that question with a question. What's my favourite film of all time, Alex?
It's a Wonderful Life.
So, what do you think that I thought of a Who episode that showed you an alternative reality where somebody's never existed?
I thought you fucking despised it. No, I'm joking. You probably really liked it.
I absolutely loved it. Wasn't actually the only It's a Wonderful Life reference in there. If you go back and watch it, the bit at the end where Shooty's running up to the flat, he sort of grabs hold of the banister at the end of the stairs, and
Yeah, yeah.
like that kind of little visual check. And I'm like, I
Wow.
see what you're doing here. They even mention it in the commentary, actually, not that particular scene, but they reference It's a Wonderful Life in the
Yeah.
commentary. But yeah, so I think I loved that. I loved that it gave us the opportunity to see what a different person Carla would be without having Ruby in her life.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Because
powerful.
I
Yeah.
think that when, for understandable reasons, very often when television or film or books or whatever tell stories about fostering and care situations, they're focused very much on the impact for the children. It's absolutely fantastic to see what a positive impact fostering had on Carla as an adult.
Mm,
You know, the fact that without Ruby, she would have just been somebody where, oh, she doesn't really care and she does it every now and then when she needs a bit of money because she gets 800 quid for it. But having had Ruby with her, that made it her life's work.
mm,
You know, she went from having 5 children to 33, and
yeah.
just the difference of the aesthetic in the flat as well. It's gone from being this kind of beautiful, festive, colourful environment to this fucking drab, cold place,
Mm.
just because this one child at hours old didn't end up with that family. And I think that's a really, and you know, it was done, it was quite subtle as well. Like, it wasn't, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on other eras or stuff, but I can think of other writers where the Doctor would have been like, almost like that line in It's a Wonderful Life, like, you weren't here to save Harry, so Harry didn't save her. Almost that thing of like, oh, well, Ruby wasn't here, so this whole place is now dark and dismal and you're not as.
Mm.
It didn't need to spell that out. You just worked it out for yourself.
Yeah, I can imagine that being very tenanty. You'd be like, oh, it's just like,
Yeah, it would have been quite tenanty. It would have been quite
Yeah.
Whittaker.
it
Like,
could have been at Matt,
you can
e-
picture Jodie just being like,
even Capaldi.
yeah, Jodie, or
It was,
yeah, and a number of other. Yes, certainly a Tenant, Jodie, possibly Capaldi thing, where they're standing there giving a little monologue, going, "Oh well, because she's not here, it's had this impact and this impact and this impact." Russell's literally done a show, don't tell.
it was
And it you know, and particularly the little bit with Sherry, where Sherry isn't lying straight up, face up, having a laugh and a joke, waiting for a cup of tea. She's fucking fetal, lying on her side
yeah.
in a cold bed,
It
and it's
was like I said, it was played beautifully. It was like subtly beautiful, and like you said, the message of like how people's like without your lies, do you know what I mean? How important they are, and also like you said, it didn't over explain it. Like just seeing Carla starting crying and the doctor crying. It was it didn't need any like
yeah,
yeah. The rest of treated the audience very cleverly. Yeah.
yeah, and I know I've already given props to Michelle Greenidge, but big props to Shooty for that scene as well. Actually, you
Mm,
know, we are going to have a doctor that shows emotion, which isn't
mm.
a massively doctory trait. But if he's going to be that bloody good at it, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think it's a nice change. I think
Yeah,
I think it's necessary.
yeah. It's not. I'm trying to. I don't think it's anything that we've ever really kind of tapped into before. Certainly not with Capaldi. Certainly not with Whitaker.
Mattered a bit.
Smith a little bit,
Yeah.
but he was far too childlike to be showing kind of adult emotions,
Yeah.
if you like.
Yeah.
Tennant was just running everywhere. I
Mm.
think with Chris, we maybe got it at points.
He was
I
too
think,
busy trying to resonate
maybe,
concrete.
maybe Father's Day.
Too busy trying to resonate concrete. He couldn't be. He didn't want to talk about it. Just wanted to resonate concrete.
Russell in that commentary says, well, like one of the writers was saying, "Oh, the Doctor doesn't do that," and Russell apparently said, "No, this Doctor does." So you
Yeah.
know, it's going to be a new direction, which is exciting
Why would
to have a.
why would this thousands years old being that has seen and lost so much not be a fucking emotional wreck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not quite easy. It's quite simple. Yeah. I think that was really great. I thought the final action set piece was quite nice. Nothing
Yeah.
too special. It comes up to the gloves again. Goblin King gets impaled. That was quite a nice little thing. I've seen people complain that there was no blood when the Goblin King got impaled. It's a Doctor Who. You ain't going to get blood with a big impale scene like that. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to go on telly, and Disney wouldn't like it. So
It's bloody 6:30 on Christmas Day. People have stuffed their guts full of dinner, Christmas pudding. They're probably just breaking into the fucking cheese with the chocolates, and you want to see green goblin blood splattering all over the place. Well, who are these people?
this isn't the fucking Last of Us or Walking Dead, like, you know what I mean?
No, I've seen lots of comparisons to that Hot Fuzz scene when he trips in that model village.
Oh no, that's fucked. And
Yeah.
if your episode's getting compared to Hot Fuzz, you know you've had made a good episode of Doctor Who. That's all I'm
Fucking
saying.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
You know,
fatality.
what do they expect? The church spire goes up through his arse, and suddenly you get a voice go, "Fatality."
Yeah, yeah. And then obviously that's kind of our main story point. So let's get into maybe the things that were left hanging. We're gonna so talk about Ruby's parentage. We know nothing. She knows nothing. The world knows nothing. Davina McCall couldn't help her. She was like, "Yeah, nothing exists, mate," and just sort of gave up. Called on Christmas Eve as well on her birthday. It's probably the worst day to fucking give her a ring, but at least she was honest, I guess. Um,
No, I'm sorry, I don't stand Davina McCall, so I was. No, she was a bitch for that.
Yeah, I think it's a bit horrible that they just got on Christmas Eve, which happens to be her birthday, and give her the worst news on the planet. Like, just
I get,
wait a few more days, man.
I get why they had her in the episode, but she is not exactly a non-problematic individual. And you know, you've literally got on the same show, you've literally got Nicky Campbell, who works for the BBC already, is a lovely guy, does so much to sell the importance of adoption and fostering. He would have been great.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, and then obviously Davina's little story gets wrapped up at the end because
Davina's already been in it.
actually,
Yeah, she was the voice of the Davina bot.
in what episode was there a Davina bot?
Heart and the Ways.
Yeah,
Um,
Bad Wolf.
um,
Big Brother House. This is Davina.
wait, was she on Big Brother? I didn't know Davina was called Big Brother. It's news to
Oh,
me.
Alex. Right.
Yeah, yeah, I
No.
know, I know.
Have you not seen the meme? Should we have another one? Do you know what program that was from?
No,
Oh no.
so
I mean, surely you're aware of the Bo Selector Big Brother House. This is Davina. Please do not say fuck or bugger.
no.
In
Never,
out.
Oh
never seen.
no.
The only voice selectors that you've not shown me. But yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
Oh.
they did this thing. It's a thing where like, yeah,
yeah.
you are now live. Please do not say fuck or bugger. And like literally every other episode, she was pregnant and about to have another baby.
Oh, um, w-
But yeah, she said some quite
interesting things.
quite interesting slash iffy things in the recent past, or not over the last couple of years, certainly.
Yeah,
I was, as you lads probably remember, when this rumor first did the rounds, I was would really rather not. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, does that whole thing because again, it's quite bitchy for to do it, but does that lean into the bad luck thing? Although Davina's aware of the bad luck, so why would she cause more bad? No. I like the fact that he just wrote in that the goblins were doing it just for the shits towards Davina, just because they had like, they laugh torturing this poor woman. Well, I say poor woman, depends on your perception, but um,
yeah.
but yeah,
That thing with the what they didn't show you is that thing with the Christmas tree. That wasn't actually goblins. That was me.
they just had the camera set up and they thought they'd use it.
Yeah, I was just like, add that, you fucking.
Um, but yeah, so Ruby's parents, obviously, we know nothing. We know nothing. I've already seen theories that it's Rose and it's this, and it's not going to be that. People, I'm just letting you know
I'm
now. It ain't going to be that.
in spite of the fact that it looks like Claudia Winkleman in that cloak.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that the person leaving baby Ruby on the church steps
it's Ruby.
is Ruby.
Yeah,
Mm.
I also think this.
It's
I
quite
also,
interesting if like the doctor doesn't because he kind of looks at it, doesn't. I don't know if that's a thing of him being like, I cannot engage with that because of Tommy Wimey stuff. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be explored. I'm sure it'll be like,
yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? To see where Ruby. Yeah.
I do wonder if it's something that they're just not ever going to resolve because
Um,
they make quite a point about Ruby being a foundling.
yeah,
And you know, there's a very distinct difference within the sort of adoption and care communities between an adoptee, a fosteree, a foundling. They make quite a point about her being a foundling.
my
So
only thought.
I do wonder if that's going to be like they're not actually at any point going to resolve her parentage.
Mm-hmm. My only
mm,
That
thought was,
obviously that's something that for the vast majority of foundlings that happens.
my only thought was is that
mm,
because they're like, oh, there's no record, there's no nothing. Potentially, they could work for like a unit or sort of thing, and maybe they've been wiped for the records or something like that. Yeah, but like again, that was my only thought. It could be something along the lines of that.
You're saying she's the bastard love child of Caitlin Stewart and Sergeant Benson.
Oh, that's really dodgy.
There was
What?
a, you know, there was
oh,
a, you know, I mean, when would it have been? So what? Yeah, there was like a unit party in March 2004 or something. You know, Kate's had a bit too much to drink, and then
Heaven would you have been in
you know, as they're clearing up after the party, she just said, you know, there are places I remember all my life, though some have changed. And she thought, oh, what a beautiful voice! I'm going to go and cop off with that.
biggest mistake of her life.
The
Oh,
being rat.
yeah. Potentially that's the way that it's going.
I mean,
Yeah, no,
I mean,
that is the case.
if that actually happens, then I'm saying it right here. Russell does not know right now what he's doing, and he's just listened to this fucking podcast and decided to run with that as an idea.
Yeah, absolutely. The other one, the other big thing really was Mrs. Flood. Now in this episode,
mm,
she was sort of a very background character, just the friendly, nosy neighbor sort of thing in the actual runtime of the story. You know, at the end, she's very nice and tells Ruby to go in the TARDIS. So we think that's the last one to see of her for now, and she's going to come back. But then, almost like how they did it in Flux or an MCU film, if you like, the credits start to roll, and then midway through, we come back, and she looks down the barrel of the TARDIS, down the barrel of the TARDIS, down the barrel of the camera, and says, "What? You've never seen a TARDIS before?" and gives us a cheeky little smile. Who is this
a little
woman?
wink. Yeah.
I mean, it's Anita Dobson. She was never going to be a background character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
But like, do we think this is a villainous character? Do we think,
I
or
don't know.
what do we
I
think?
don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. I think she could just be somebody that's had previous experience with the Doctor, or she, you know, she could be somebody
She's Susan.
who's kind of. Oh, please no. She could be somebody
Come
that's
on.
kind of just directing things and sort of pushing the
Mm.
Doctor and and Ruby together, sort of thing.
Yeah.
She certainly seems to be encouraging that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, she could, but she could also be some form of god or guardian that's come over from the Toymaker's realm. It could be anything.
She
I
could be the
mean,
Watcher.
that's half the fun. It's just the speculation. She could be the Watcher. She could be bloody Adric, for all we know.
He is available, but they didn't want to use him.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously not, because you don't want people to know that it's fucking Adric. So you recast him.
Azure was secretly a Time Lord.
You did find out that he was right. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things I have to keep watching, isn't it? One of those things as well that like they definitely want you to keep an eye on because it was brought up in Unleashed a few times, especially. It
Yeah,
wasn't just it wasn't they're definitely going, you are gonna find out who this is. So they're definitely
I
they're
like
definitely
I like that we've had this mid credits sequence, because something that always annoys me in cinemas and on television is when people turn off before the end of the credits. I always find that quite disrespectful. So if this means that people are actually going to sit and watch the credits,
Yeah.
full power.
yeah. I mean,
The
the part of me that leads me to think that she is a god of some sort is because she does look down the camera. She does break the fourth wall. So she's
I mean, she is. I mean, she is Anita Dobson, so she is already a goddess.
okay, but within the realms of the show,
Yeah.
I think she's got to be in some form just because she's
It-
aware she's in a TV show.
Yeah, I mean, this did give me the opportunity to, like, literally straight after the episode, just post, tweet and post on Facebook pictures of myself with Anita Dobson at the PFI in March when she was there for the Inside Number 9 Series 8 launch.
Yeah.
Just like,
Was she
yeah,
was
but
she nice?
by the way, this happened.
Was she
Mate,
nice?
Yeah.
she's Anita Dobson. She was fantastic, and it was really funny because I was walking through the little underpass with a couple of mutual friends that you both know that I won't name check here, and so one of them just sort of tapped me on the shoulder. She's like, "You're gonna have to speed up." And Anita Dobson's coming along behind with a couple of minders, and I literally just sort of turned around and was like, "Can we have photos?"
Yeah.
And like one of the guys I was with is like the biggest EastEnders fan going, and nearly died on the spot that he had his photo taken with Anita Dobson. And oh, she was lovely. She was
That's
absolutely
nice.
lovely.
Yeah.
In spite of it being sort of a very crowded area and needing to sort of get from one bar to another because there was a little function in the other bar that they cut bits off of. She took time. She stopped and had a little chat. She posted photos. She was absolutely lovely.
Well, she's lovely until she murders about 17 children in the next series. Um,
Well, I don't mind that. Children in Doctor Who are annoying.
just
With
bring
the
back
It's a
exception,
bit of style.
with the exception of that little fudge kid in the Star Beast, he was all right. He was quite fun.
just brings back Cyril and murders him 16 times.
But yeah, if we're talking like Angie and Artie,
Oh,
fucking hell, take it away, love.
Go ahead.
Courtney Wood, bloody go for it. Literally every one of those kids in the Forest in the Night.
you can't kill.
Unleash the tiger.
You can't kill Peppa Pig. What's David Cameron gonna watch now?
Oh, scandalous.
Mm.
I mean, I can kill Peppa Pig, and that they're. I mean, as an uncle to nieces and nephews who were very young at one point, there have been points when I very much wanted to fucking kill Peppa Pig. I mean,
I did this for them.
20 years ago when Niblin number one was like 3 years old, it was Dora the Explorer that I wanted to fucking strangle to death. But
Yeah, you remind me of Boots, John.
who?
Boots.
What, what the fucking chemists?
Oh, do you mean Enjoy the Explorer?
Yeah.
Just because it was on and it was making a noise in my living room doesn't mean I was paying fucking attention.
It's the guy with the red
I was a
boots.
grown adult. I wasn't fucking watching it.
Reese reminds me of the map.
I'm going to go into what you remind me of.
I think we've covered it, most things, have we? Is there anything I've missed or anything anyone wants to bring up? Or
Well, just as a little mention, love the fact that Ruby is a caregiver, obviously effectively for Sherry.
Mm.
I think that's something that's very underrepresented in media, and it's lovely that we got to see that. Actually, was there anything else? Did I make any notes? No, the only notes I made were about It's a Wonderful Life and Magic as a Science, and we covered both of those.
okay, so let's
The,
let's get.
the only thing, the only thing I say was the end, obviously, with the TARDIS. Like, I think we're gonna get. It's a nice kind of tee up for like. Obviously, we're gonna get a lot of like, oh my god, I'm big on the inside. I'm a time lord. Da, da, da." So I think it's a lovely that we didn't kind of get to explore that this episode. Obviously, next the opening launch episode, I'm sure we'll explore it in new exciting ways. So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's reminded me. That was the other thing. That was the other thing that reminded me. The Ruby slash Rose deliberate comparisons that we had in this. The fact that when she opened the TARDIS door, Ruby actually gets out, takes a little stroll around the TARDIS. First companion to do that since Rose. The most logical thing that you would fucking do. Obviously, Millie is a fantastic actress in her own right. And when people were making those comparisons on her casting based on the fact that she was just a blonde British actress, it was a lazy comparison. But Russell is drawing some clear parallels here between, with somebody with a working class single parent background who just has this immediate chemistry and fascination.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
as the world's number one Rose Tyler stan, I'm here for it.
Indeed. Right, let's give scores on the doors then. I'm going to go first. I'm going to give this a 7. I think 7 out of 10. Solid 7. That's where I go. Put it out of 7. What about you, John? I know you're quite. You're possibly a couple notches higher.
I think if this was a standard episode of Doctor Who, I'd probably be giving it around the same as you. But for what it is, it's has it introduced our characters, has it given them the chemistry, has it made us excited for what's to come? It's a 9 out of 10 for me.
There you go. And Reese.
I'd probably go for a 7.5, but like John's, I feel like the introduction of like the little seeds that have been planted, the Shooty and Millie kind of transcends that. So, but yeah, as a kind of story, I'd probably say 7.5.
Yeah, I'd agree. Roughly around the area, 7.5. Right. What I would say is let's discuss the series the next time trailer, but we're going to do that in the first podcast of next year. So people are gonna come back and we're gonna talk about that because we've got time to fill. We've
It
got
needs
to
to make
wait
some
till
content
we got
till
to wait
May.
till May.
Well,
So,
I do hope that I'm in that podcast and have the opportunity to give my views. And
yeah, we'll fill. I've not made any group chats or plans of who's in what as of yet. So, but when that is all sorted, we'll know. But yeah, would you guys, as a quick aside before we wrap up, like to know what you are in the desk calendar? What your birthday is? Would like to know because every day is different.
yeah, man.
Why not?
So yeah, this is where I make Reese look really bad for last week when he got my birthday because John's is the 8th of May. So let me just
Oh,
go
quite
there.
close then.
Yeah, because yours is the 23rd.
Bingo.
7th of June, my arse.
It was worse because you told me like a week before, and I
Couldn't
completely
even
forgot.
remember his bloody birthday.
Oh, John,
Yeah.
you're going to be happy with this. You are actively
Oh,
Joe
come on,
Grant.
that's perfect.
You are actively Joe Grant.
Ding dong.
Perfect. Yeah.
To be fair, you're lucky because the next, if you were a day later, it would have been a lot more disappointing because you were in the Shaqri.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm sure we all agree our favourite Joe.
Yeah. 23, I'll do a lot faster. 23rd of May, that's 24, Probably. Oh, there you go. There you go, Reese. This sums you up. This sums you up on the podcast of the week quite well. Cigarettes.
Grr.
Yeah.
Well,
By the way, just like Reese is available for drawings. Contact him on Twitter. He'll give you a really good
if
drawing.
you want any portraits done,
He
Yeah,
portraits Reese.
just don't ask him to guess what anybody else has drawn.
So he'll have no clue
please don't.
at any point, and it'll always be the most illogical questions. Right, wrapping up time. Would you please thank my guest for the episode, John? You can go follow him at johnboy_cook. On Blue Sky and Twitter, it's the same, right? Or is it
I mean,
different?
it's not got the underscore on Blue Sky.
It's not got the underscore on Blue Sky. There we go. So it's,
Go follow for some wisdom and honest opinions on all things.
Yeah, wisdom, honest opinions, lots of swearing.
and if you want to go follow Reese, who only tweets positive things about Doctor Who, and he's like, "Look how excited we are to have episodes back. It's really great." It's really funny because I always read your tweets and it's like sarcastic, but I know you are actually excited. I just read your tweets in a very sarcastic voice because you're much calmer in person than your tweets would suggest. So it's always guys, isn't it amazing? Doctor Who's back. Oh my god. Just I read your tweets. But you go follow that Gallifrey 97. Check out his YouTube channel as well because he does great trailers.
You know what kind of train this is?
Yeah, exactly. Kid from the Christmas Story, my arse. That was another big insult from that podcast. You can follow up the podcast at Sam's.
You might have had to edit out that bit.
No, I kept that bit.
I'll certainly edit around that bit.
There was a bit where I had to edit. Oh yeah, but you follow this podcast at the Sam's Pod. You can follow me on Twitter. It's King_Dom. Thank you guys also very much as well for the support on the 60th anniversary videos and stuff. We've got over the 60th period, we've gained about 50 or so subscribers, which I know it might not be a big thing in the grand scheme of things, but in terms of the size of the audience of the podcast, that's like a sixth. So it's much appreciated. And we're going to be back in the new year. There's a video coming out on New Year's Day kind of explaining how the podcast is changing a bit and how I'm going to be rotating guests a bit more. And there's going to be a few more series coming up the channel as well. I know Reese is already a part of one of them. And that's
are your guests actually going to be informed in advance of how things?
Oh yeah.
Or are we just going to find out through watching this fucking video?
I haven't worked it out yet. So, but I will by the 1st. So it will be done.
I forgot what I'm a part of. I don't know what you're about.
You've already filmed 3 of them. So
So Reese already knows, does he?
No. It's something Reese has already filmed last year.
This is something that was filmed meant to come out ages ago.
Yeah, it's all coming out in January, February, March. So get excited. And yeah, we'll see.
We're all in this together.
Take care. We're all in this together. Goodbye.
So good night, God bless. Don't have nightmares. Do sleep well. Ruby, 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 Ruby! Ah!